Good morning, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario. Coach Mario, owner and head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy here in Miami, Florida. Hope everybody's okay. Everybody's fine and getting ready for the holidays coming up really soon. All right, guys. Today's episode is going to be focused on something that I was thinking about yesterday. I was actually looking at, I like to watch, biographies, and I like to watch history of some fighters, and I'm actually interested in the history of the sweet science very much. I've studied the history of boxing. I've read books and whatnot, and it actually marvels me how all the vicissitudes and all the problems and issues that some of these fighters have gone through in order to make it all the way to the top. Some guys have had easier paths. They've had the adulation of the media, the adulation of the press. They make it to the top. Their road seems a lot easier, although I'm not saying that it's easy to make it all the way to the top, to become champion and become an idol of the sport, to have all the fans that some of these fighters have nowadays. But it is a hard road, more of a hard road for some than for others. And it's more of a trial of will and determination and never backing down, because it is a frustrating journey that some of these fighters unfortunately have to go through, versus others that immediately get the recognition because of several factors. It could be personality, it could be being flashy, it could be their way they express themselves, loud mouths, creating controversy, all that other stuff, and somehow that has been one of the things that some of these fighters use in order to become known and to make them more marketable and people wanting to see them fight. And unfortunately, a lot of casual fans fall for that type of tricks and that type of practice from some of these fighters, and that's all they know. They know the big names, but they don't know the real hardcore fighters sometimes, which are a lot better as far as technique and as ability than some of these boisterous individuals that market themselves in a very good way. Actually, it makes them successful in that manner. So today we're going to be talking about similarities. And when I was watching yesterday the biography. It was a boxing documentary of Marvin Hagler. I think it was on ESPN Classic that I was watching it. And I know the story of Marvin Hagler, but I come from similar era. Marvin Hagler was a little bit ahead of just a tad ahead of my time, but I was able to see him fight on TV. I was able to see him fight against Tommy Hearns. I saw him fight against Roberto Duran. I saw his fights against John the Beast Mugabe. Nobody could beat this guy, man. This guy was a wrecking machine. And one of the things that caught my attention was that in this documentary, it talks about all the obstacles Marvin Hagler had to go through in order to be recognized, in order to become a household name, in order for people to respect them. And kind of what popped up in my head was Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias and Marvin Hagler have had the hard, tough road in order to become recognized by experts, by the media, by fans, as great fighters and potential legendary champions in their particular weight division and in their era. First of all, I'm not comparing Subriel Matias to Marvin Hagler. Marvelous Marvin Hagler is a legend, and I have all my respect for him. He's in my opinion, if not the best middleweight in boxing history, he's up top 3. All right, this guy was unbelievable. But I'm comparing them as far as their trajectory. Like I said before, there are fighters that have gone through that hard, tough road where they sometimes become frustrated, and that frustration becomes anger, and it's built up inside in such a manner that the only way to get that frustration and anger out is inside the ring, and to prove to everybody and shut everybody's mouth that they are who they know they are. Because these people know exactly what their potential is and what they're willing to do. Marvin Hagler used to wear a war hat. Meaning was inhuman. I mean, this guy was so focused on getting inside the ring and destroying his opponents that everybody was afraid of him. All right, so they both come from need, from a situation where their childhood was not a childhood that was, they weren't born with silver spoon, guys. Let's put it that way. All right, they come from rough neighborhoods. Talking about Subriel Matias, if you don't know, and you heard him say, as he's pretended, el orgullo de Maternillo. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of non-Spanish speakers and people that don't know what Maternillo is, this is a really bad neighborhood in the town of Fajardo, in the city of Fajardo. Guys, I lived in Fajardo. I lived many years in Fajardo, Puerto Rico. This is the northeast part of the island. My kids were raised there. You know, I trained there at John Molina's gym. I was done with boxing, but I was just doing, fitness training, getting in shape, trying to stay in shape, hitting the bag, helping some of the guys there, with doing a little bit of mitt work for the guys and just helping out. But Maternillo is one of the worst areas of the town of Fajardo. Actually, that's where most of the drugs are at. There's a lot of crime there. You go up there to Maternillo and you're on your own. So this guy, Subriel Matias, grew up in a really bad neighborhood, and so did Marvin Hagler. And one of the things that is a common denominator among guys like these is they come from need. If you see great champions like Duran, like Hagler, like Hearns, some of these guys come from all these neighborhoods that were really bad, and there were neighborhoods that had a lot of crime-ridden neighborhoods and whatnot. They were they had issues with the poverty around, and I believe that fighters that come from that type of background, it creates a hunger inside of them that maybe someone who is raised in the middle class, upper middle class, or that doesn't have this type of obstacles in their youth, in their development as a young man, it makes them less hungry to become champions. So that's why you don't see too many. I don't think there's many world champions that come from money, from an upper middle class, or even middle class. The legends come from need. So that is my comparison between both of these fighters. They never backed down. Hagler had a really high percentage of knockout ratio. And like I said, no recognition whatsoever from the press. Even the presenters or the MCs for his fights refused to call him Marvelous Marvin Hagler. That was his fight name, and they refused. The press didn't do it. The MCs before the fights did not want to call him Marvelous Marvin Hagler, so he had to change his name in order for people to start addressing him as Marvelous. All right, so this guy had a really rough road to making it to the top. He had a small promotional team, the Petruccelli brothers, just like Subriel Matias, who has Fresh Promotions. It's a small local promotional company in Puerto Rico, and he's been loyal, just like Hagler was loyal to his managers. So is Subriel Matias to his, and I'm pretty sure that right now there's a lot of offers for Subriel Matias to leave his promotional company, to leave his managers, and to leave all these people so that he can make more money. And I've seen a lot of comments from some of you guys that saying, well, he should leave small promotional company and go to a bigger company so he has more exposure. But Subriel Matias is a loyal guy, just like Hagler was. Subriel Matias is a humble guy, just like Hagler was. Subriel Matias has not had the recognition of the press or the critics or the experts, just like Hagler back in his days. These are guys that have gone through the hard, toughest fights. Hagler had to go to Philadelphia, fight all the killers in Philadelphia, and start racking up victory one after one after one, knocking these guys out in order to get that recognition. Sugar Ray Leonard got over $1 million on his, debut fight, or close to that. These are guys that have different paths. And Marvelous Marvin Hagler was always a little bit, upset at the fact that some fighters get pampered by the press and get a softer route all the way to the top. All right. So, guys, looking at that documentary yesterday, that light came up, and Subriel Matias, who is just as hungry as Hagler was to prove to everybody that they were wrong about him, that he was not just an average fighter, that he was not just a flat-footed fighter, that he was just not, one-dimensional type of fighter. All these things that they said about Hagler, they've said about Subriel Matias. All the experts back in Hagler's days had to eat their own words when Hagler became, undisputed middleweight champion and defended his title for about 6 years. He destroyed everybody. He fought the best. Legendary fight against Tommy Hearns. Legendary fight against Sugar Ray Leonard. Legendary fight against Manuel Piedra Duran. The war between John the Beast Mugabe. These were, fights that, for the casual boxing fan, they have no knowledge what I'm talking about. But those of you who are knowledgeable boxing fans, these are fights that we watch over and over and over again because they are historic. Subriel Matias has done the same. He still needs to get to that level where he's fighting opposition that actually are recognized as the top fighters by the experts and the media and all this other stuff. But he's racking up the wins, just like Hagler did, in order to prove to all the naysayers that he is a fighter, a generational fighter that has only determination, has the will, and will not be broken. All right? They have that specific trait. One thing that you can't buy, one thing you don't train with, you don't train for. And that's one of the things I tell the guys, listen, you got to have that commitment, that drive, that that heart to keep you going and to make you want to accomplish your goals more than anything else. And this guy's had that drive. This guy had that relentless spirit, indomitable spirit. You could not stop Marvin Hagler from coming forward and trying to take your head off. You can't stop Hagler and Matias from coming forward and trying to take your head off and making you quit. So my point is, whether the press, the experts, the casual fans, and all these other people right now do not recognize Subriel and Matias as one of the best or the best at 140, they will. They will soon. Mark my words, guys. You know, I know there's a lot of the comments out there to say that, well, you know, he hasn't proven himself, he hasn't fought anybody. Well, the reason is nobody wants to fight him. Just like Hagler back in the day, they were afraid of him. So guys, this is basically my thoughts for the day. Let me know what you think about it. Please like and subscribe, comment. I will try to answer all your questions, all your comments when I have an opportunity. But this is all for now. Until next time, this is Coach Mario saying hasta la vista. God bless you all and peace.